Welcome back to the Substitutes, guys. And now we're doing a final review. Majid, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I've been better though.
You've been better
It's not
though.
what I was expecting.
You were expecting an England victory. You were kind of right though at the start. They had a really bright start. England scored within 2 minutes. It looked like Southgate's tactics paid off. Wing back to wing back, Trippier to Shaw. It was a good goal.
Southgate's tactics paid off for the first 2 minutes, and then on a general wider point, this is footballing teams in general do this, especially in the big games. If they go up 1-0, they decide to sit back. I don't understand this policy. I think you should just play your natural game. Play the game that's being played. So if you have to defend, defend. If you can score, go out and score. If you go up 1-0, that means you can afford one colossal mistake in the future. It's sort of plus one
It's a
in the
buffer.
credits.
It's a
Don't
buffer.
worry about it. What's the worst? You'll be back to 0-0 essentially, 1-1.
And this is kind of evident in the overall stats in the game. Italy kind of dominated thereafter. They had 66% possession. They had way more shots, 19 shots in total, six on target. England six shots, two on target. And it just kind of felt that actually does reflect the game. Um,
Italy dominated. They had to chase the game, but again, I do think there was an element of England allowing them to be dominant versus pressing high up, trying to gain the ball back and trying to score again. They were happy to sit back. Kane was closer to Pickford than Donnarumma the most of the match. They were very lively towards the end. This last 10 minutes of extra time,
yeah.
they looked solid. And this is even in the first half, every time England did move forward, they looked solidly fluid. I don't know why Southgate doesn't encourage sort of fluid Spanish play kind of thing.
Well, look, that's just the type of person and manager that he is. He's very, very cautious. And it's telling when he does that, when he brings Jack Grealish on in the 99th minute. The guy should have had a lot more than 20 minutes.
What did you
When
think
you,
of the substitutions in general? This is going to be a talking point forever and ever. What did you think?
well, look, personally, I think he should have brought on Grealish earlier. And I would have brought on Sancho and Rashford earlier on in extra time, not just for penalties. Like, you have to. England's record in penalties is abysmal, and you're taking a chance on a lottery based on the fact of what you won your last penalty shootout after out of six or seven. I find that baffling. Like,
Well, the commentators noted that they were trying to bring Rashford earlier on, almost 3-4 minutes earlier, but the Italians had held on to possession and they just milked the clock as they
I
do.
I disagree. I think that Italy had two throw-ins that they took in very quickly. They
Walker took his really quickly. Sorry to cut you off. Walker
Yeah,
for England. I don't know whether he got the message, the memo that there were subs. He just sort of
yeah, but that was on the right-hand side. And then I remembered, like maybe like 30 seconds later, Saka and Shaw were on the left, and they played passes to each other. And Saka, I think it was Saka, played it behind Shaw, and it was no, that became an Italy throw-in. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like they had chances
and
to slow down the play.
I do want to mention here with Italy, these guys are masters of minute tactics. There's little things they do. So Chiellini, he was first off that the WWF that should have been a red card. Honestly, there was intent. There was like a bad thing.
Uh,
He was the last man there. I don't. I personally think that was a clear red. There was intent. It was clearly
I
what like
didn't see much. I didn't see. I mean, I didn't see the line, so I don't know. If you're talking about Saka going against Chiellini and the rest of the Italian defense, possibly yes, he's rapid. Um,
Well, there were
yeah, that's
times where England would get a throw in, for example. Chiellini would go grab the ball, hold it for 30 seconds, toss it over to the referee, and then by then, all the Italian defense has come back into place and set up. There's minor veteran moves they
that's
do that are like really brilliant, honestly.
that look, but that's how you should be playing the game in so many ways. Like when you do you remember there's so many incidents, but I think one of the more famous ones that happened was Okay, there's a couple of incidents that came to mind. One, Man United had this, where one of their players kicked the ball back to another opposing player. He took a quick free kick and they scored. The same thing happened, I think, last season or the season before with Kane and Son with the quick throw in. Like you've got to be able to slow the play down. That's like you're right. It's veteran moves, and I think this is where like everyone thought that like the youth would and their pace would trouble Italy. I think Italy were very comfortable today. They were extremely comfortable today because I personally felt that the substitutions were made all of them at the wrong time. When you go into extra time, did you ever see the back line sweating for Italy? They look comfortable. Throughout the 90 minutes, they look comfortable. These are
Well,
old players.
I
Stretch
I
them.
I kind of disagree. I think they had Saka had pace. There was pace there. These guys, again, though, they're diving tackles for all of the two steps ahead. The diving tackle and the veteran experience negated that speed oftentimes, and England was going down a little too easily for no point
You,
because they weren't getting the calls. The
well,
ref
yeah,
was very
you saw,
consistent in allowing a physical game, which is fine. I love that. Um, but
but I'm talking about stretching the defense. Did you like? I know Saka was on, and you're saying he didn't get a run in, but there was no running in behind them. There was no stretching them. There was nothing like that. And you saw on the opposite side, I thought Sterling was absolutely useless today. Um, I've been thinking that for a couple of games, he never takes him off. Like the guy has done nothing. Like, fine, he's had what 4 goals this tournament, but if I'm being honest, what else have you seen from Sterling except from being in the right place at the right time? Take
that's
him off.
kind
He's
of
the
who I
Bruno
was
Fernandez
referring
of
to
that.
about like he kept going down, but he wasn't getting the calls. But he
Yeah,
kept going down and losing possession. Um,
just consistently. Like this, look, I called it. I thought we like when you saw this game, we thought that England's home advantage would play a factor. And I think it did. I think it did in the first few minutes. I thought that was all the adrenaline for England, and Italy were probably a little nervous. But when they remembered their game, they dominated.
they
Like,
did, and they played fluid football too. There were a couple of decent chances. Nothing, honestly, that goal was very old school Italian for all of the
mm,
Italian Renaissance. That was just there. I told my brother the Italian national team is almost the anti Arsenal. They sometimes it's very dirty play, but they'll get the ball over the line. You know,
and
they will eventually manage it.
they had a lot of chances to win it, by the way. I think it was in the final minute of, was it in the final minute of extra time or like normal time when there was a header that they had that was from a corner that just went across goal. And like for me, I don't remember England having clear-cut chances.
Those ooh
Nothing.
ah moments.
Yeah, nothing like that. And honestly, I think Italy deserved to win. They deserve to win the whole tournament. They have been the most exciting side to watch consistently. They've been playing great, and the revolution has begun for them. Like they've completely evolved their style of play.
So I wanted Italy to win. I'm glad they won. They were the better side throughout the tournament and in this game, both
Mm,
things. I do want to say though, this is like the monkey's paw loss for me for England.
they should
I
have. They
wanted England to more than I wanted Italy to win. I wanted England to lose. However, this is the worst possible narrative or even decision and tactical making and what happened on the field. This was the worst possible case. I don't want Rashford to be missing penalties. I don't want
Sancho,
Saka. These are like
Sancho.
the Sancho, the brothers. I don't want the.
They're kids, and you know they're gonna get slaughtered. I'm glad you brought this up, by the way.
And the crying, the Saka at the end, that I got emotional. That broke my
Yeah,
heart.
like he's
And I'm
19
glad
years.
Harry Kane, for as much stick as I give him, I'm glad he was there to at least be like, bro,
Well,
whatever, like
you
whatever. It's a
saw.
game. It's a game. Everyone,
Yeah,
like it's a game.
it is a game, but you know, like the way that England were going, it's coming home, it's coming home. Like there are going to be a lot of hurt fans who will take it too far. Like you saw Southgate consoling Sancho, right at the end. You know that Rashford's going to get so much stick because of his food drive, and they're going to be like play on football, and they're going to racially abuse him, like they did after the Europa League final. This is the one, like if you wanted England to lose, this is the worst way for them to lose, because I wouldn't be surprised if there are going to be jabs from political members of parliament, from the newspapers especially. Like if Rashford says anything now, um, anything against the government, they are just going to rip him to shreds. You missed the penalty. You did this. I just feel bad. Yeah,
I
man.
agree. I agree. This is not the. I'm glad. Again, I'm glad England lost, but this is not the way I wanted it to happen.
Yeah, with
But
kids, like
I
with kids.
continue. By the way, now I would do want to continue with that. England throughout two Southgate tournaments, every time they've played a
Top opposition.
quality opponent, has not won. I
Yeah,
just that trend continues for me.
I
So
agree. This is the first. This is the first. Yeah, Italy are the only. Look, and no disrespect to the teams that they've played before. Like except Scotland. Um, I'm joking. I love the Scottish. Oh, they'll kill me. And like to Denmark, like they all played really, really well. Denmark as well, like they had a fantastic tournament. And we'll come back to looking at the the teams in the tournament. But Italy were the first real test, and they failed. This was an easy route for them, whereas Italy had to conquer Spain. And that was no easy task when you're facing World Cup winner in the last 10 years, Euros winners as well, and they had a really good run to the final. So Italy have conquered big teams to come here. Fair play to them. I want to take that as a time to transition as well to the tournament review itself. What did you think of it, generally speaking?
it was the tournament of attrition. It was a tournament of surprises, as usual. I think good tournaments always are. It was nice. You know, it is nice just to have this waste of time every day. For all of my biases, for I want this team or I want that team, at the end of every game, I just want it to be drawn, go into extra times. When it's extra times, I want it to go to penalties. I don't want it to stop. This there's gonna be like a sugar, you know, the like come down.
Look at there. That's the thing. Like I thought this was an exciting tournament, and I'm not. There were a lot of good games. It's kind of started off badly with Ericsson and him going down, but like the tournament kind of rallied after that. There were some really, really high quality games. Um, there
Attacking
were the
games. I'm glad it
attack.
was a very attacking tournament. It wasn't a defensive. Even the Denmarks of the world were scoring 2 goals. You know, it
Another, yeah.
wasn't that Greece 2004 mentality. There was a go forward and score kind of thing.
Well, you would get some really quality games. Netherlands, Ukraine, where Netherlands won 3-2. Um, Germany had an exciting tournament, I would say. And when I say exciting, I mean very, very hit and miss. Portugal versus Germany, that was fun. What did you think of Germany, by the way? Do you think there's going to be a
Well,
massive rebuilding for them?
well, I think by the way, this tournament has exposed a there's a transitional element feeling with many of the major European nations right now. Germany's one of them.
Germany and Belgium. Belgium are
Germany,
done.
Belgium. I would argue even Spain needs to now. They have pieces in place, like the Netherlands. They have pieces in place, but they need to retool. Like so, there's a transitional element and there's a retooling element for like many. Even France, suddenly he now needs to retool. We don't know what's going on. There's tabloid material from
You
Rabiot,
saw,
from Pogba, and family stuff. Like this is
yeah,
like
that with
move
the whole.
over Connor and Dustin. Like.
Well, apparently France always have this. Like they always have like extraordinary drama after tournaments.
Always, always. This is
Uh,
they're the Arabs of the like.
they are. I think France still have a young enough side that they will probably challenge. They've got really good players. They just like the dramas that follow them are insane. Like you remember the whole player revolt that happened, was it in 2012 or 2010 when Evra led the player revolt and he was sent home? Like it's just like I think that France, like they kind of need to rein it in, but they're still a young, good side. Belgium are done though. This was their chance. Like,
I don't know. For me, with Belgium, as long as KDB is there, and if he's healthy, if he's 100% healthy for the next tournament, if he's still around, I would always put Belgium have a chance to at least qualify. Like they have a chance in the game with KDB at his current state. But he again, he's on one leg at this point. I don't know. So yeah,
yeah,
they as long as he's there, I would say they have a chance. But
I don't
yeah,
know. There's a lot of players that seem to be reaching
Vertonghen needs to go. Sort of, there is a transitional feeling there as well.
Eden Hazard. He hasn't been the same player for a few years. Hopefully he recovers because he was brilliant for a number of years. But I think he's getting on now. I don't think that he's going to be at the next one unless there's a drastic change in form. Um, who else was Croatia? I think
Portugal, bro. What do you think of Portugal?
um, I think as well Portugal like this. I don't know if Ronaldo's going to be there at the next tournament. I would like to think that he would continue because Um, he played well up top.
He's
But
timeless. He was the Golden
yep,
Boot. Like he was in the running for Golden Boot this tournament. He's the
yes,
guy's still there.
and he was rapid as well, by the way. Like
The
for a lot of
attacking version of Chiellini.
yeah, for a lot of counter-attacking goals, the guy sprinted up the pitch in like 12 seconds, which is really impressive for his age. I really hope he has another tournament in him. I would like to see another tournament in him, but I don't know if this Portugal side um, is good enough. I think they were exposed quite a lot. They've got a lot of good players, but there were a lot of players who didn't perform. Fernandez, for me, did not perform at all. Um,
Well, if Bruno grows up a little bit over the next couple years, he could. They have a bright future if he develops. The way I mean, Ronaldo's the like unique. He's not. He's the exception to the rule. But if Bruno did sort of not like closer to Ronaldo than Nani, they have a very decent future going forward.
they do, but I feel like yeah, I agree with that. I think, but Bruno needs to find his consistency, and I have been saying this for a while. Even for United, he like I know the numbers have kind of look like they're backing him up, but I feel like his play is not backing him up. He has been very, very hit and miss for the last while. So if he can come firing, and there are other players that do catch the eye as well, they might have a chance in other tournaments, but I don't think that they're personally, I don't feel that this is like a golden generation side for them. I don't think this is a chance for them to win anything. Um, I think all in all, it's been a pretty solid tournament. And I just really want to ask now, what do you think about England going forward? What do you think is going to happen to them?
I don't know because everything's there. It was a good game. They again, I don't know why they sat back. You scored one early. Keep going. But
Their bench is stacked, by the way. They've got
everything's
incredible.
stacked. They have training facilities that are stacked. They have kids that are stacked. They have an EPL that's stacked. They're like fully locked and loaded, and they got to the semis. But once again, for me, until they
Finals. Yeah.
the finals, once they, for me though, this England squad, the Southgate regime needs to beat a team of quality. I mean, like
In a
one of
tournament.
these. Sorry.
In a tournament, like
In
not
a
like friendly,
tournament
yeah, not
specifically,
friendly
right? Not
games.
a friendly or anything. Yeah, Germany 5-1, kind of like yeah.
Yeah, well, no, that was by the way qualifying. Okay, look, I know we have a debate about that. I found that like an official match is qualifying, but still, like I don't know what if they're gonna if they should keep Southgate, and that's a very strange thing to say because he's brought them more. Brought them further in any tournament. For a very long time, since the 90s, really. They were always a quarterfinal team or get knocked out by Iceland. He reached the semifinal, he reached the final. But I'm gonna be honest, when you have you need someone who can be a little bit brave. And I feel like he lacked in that respect. But full credit to him for taking England far, um, for winning
But
on
don't you think
penalties.
he can? But don't you think he can develop like these kind of experiences? Is what would drive him to be? Oh, I need to be more risk taking. I should have brought Grealish on
Well, let's
in
see.
normal
Let's
time. I should have started
let's
him.
let's see.
But
I mean, when they played against Croatia, that was their first real test 2 years ago. Didn't overcome them. Um, I really felt there were a lot of times in this tournament when I was looking at Sterling and going, he's very, very ineffective, take him off. Um, when I'm looking at Saka and I think he's bright and I think he does something, but I don't see much of an end product. And when you have a guy on the bench who's consistently playing well for Borussia Dortmund, getting goals and getting assists, I don't understand. And he tracks back as well, so he fits the Southgate mold so perfectly. I don't understand why he's not on the pitch, and he can create more effectively than Zaka. I just feel that there were a lot of misses from Southgate in this tournament. And if he has another chance, if he has another tournament in him, then let's see if he learns from it. But I don't think he will. I'm not sure he will.
he's a very Arsene Wenger type figure where the
He sticks to
reason
his
there's
principles
well, he sticks to the principles, but also the reason the team's successful is because of Southgate, but the reason they're a failure is because of
because of how
Southgate.
it's okay. Yeah, I
Like,
that's a very astute assessment. That
and
I
this game today, just to bring it full, like bring it back a little bit to what we were talking about, the game is that England lost because of Southgate's decisions. It wasn't the players didn't miss chances or, it wasn't like that. The penalties, I don't know. No one who's seen
penalties are
football for a
lottery,
while can blame a player in penalties. But what you can look
but
at
they
is
will.
you can look at the 120 minutes before that and see decisions such as substitutions
And
or
when they
even
were made,
starters or formations,
when
tactics.
yeah, when they were made. Look, I think tactically at the start it looked like he had got it right, but there was a huge period in the game where Italy absolutely dominated. And he did nothing. What did he do? He brought on Saka, that's it. He brought on Jordan Henderson very late on, that's it. Um, I and Henderson had a few defense splitting passes, and other times he was really heavy in the touch. Um, I personally didn't. Uh, for me, he could have made the substitutions early. That's it. He should have made them much, much earlier. Grealish should have come on maybe around the 70th or 80th minute. Rashford and Sancho should have come on probably either around the same time or at the start of extra time. Give them 30 minutes. Not
That's
not
the thing. It's Sancho and Rashford. Like, I don't know why these guys aren't getting. I would even bring them in at 60 minutes.
yeah.
Again, I personally would play your natural game and try scoring goals, guys. Why are you sitting back and letting Italy have the possession? Why are you letting them creep up? Why are you letting them get slowly? Italy slowly got it going. They slowly got it right. At the beginning, they were completely disjointed. That goal, they were away. That goal took them back a bit. Um, but
But
then
they
through
grew.
guys again, Bonucci, Chiellini, when you have those guys, they're
Chelsea,
gonna, they're
amazing.
gonna pick the players up. And so I think the last sort of section is Italy suddenly look like a European giant. The Renaissance, the Italian Renaissance is on.
So we
It's
thought
coming Rome. Let's just get it
so.
over with.
So this is the funny thing, right? We genuinely thought, you and I both thought this, that it was a tournament too early for them. They proved us wrong.
Yes, I agree
So
100%.
I do you think this is the start of Italian dominance?
I mean, as like
They won a
Mancini,
Euros. Are they going to pull a Spain? A Euros, World Cup Euros.
if Mancini sticks around because Italian temperament is kind of Frenchish, there is a little
Yeah.
hot-headedness and stuff, combustibility, let's say. But if Mancini sticks around, there's no reason they have like uh, the EPL. Maybe the names aren't as famous or marketed, but Italia, the Serie A is just as talented, or through guys like Ronaldo playing there, those other players are benefiting from that, right?
They are still hard to watch. Like, I'm sorry, like but I know what you mean. Like I think this is gonna thrust them into the spotlight. They're gonna be superstars now. Um and they're gonna be sought after players as well because they had a lot of really good players in this tournament. Chelsea, Cellini is ageless, Bonucci, Jorginho. What a tournament he had.
Immobile, Jorginho, yeah,
Immobile,
Insigne.
they all had amazing tournaments. And I know that they might have to reshuffle their back line a bit because their players are getting on, but I still think that this could be a very exciting team to watch in the coming years.
I do want to just repeat because, like, I think as long as Mancini's there and they're going forward and embracing this new identity of going forward and trying to score, they will have a very bright future ahead. If they, go backwards, or if Mancini gets out of the picture or something happens and they go backwards, and not backwards, but they go back to their identity of defensive first, I think it stalls there. But as long as,
Yes.
because these players for me, they're not Pogba-esque where they're individually super ultra talented,
Yeah.
alien like. They're very solid, they're very good. You need a manager to get 100% out of them for 90 minutes. Whereas
I
Pogba, you can get just 1 minute, even if he's switched on for 1 minute, he'll create something.
I do think that Mancini is going to stay around. I think that he's built something. I think that I think that they're going to give it a chance as well. I don't think that they're going to
Yeah, yeah,
suddenly revert.
I think they will, and I hope he does. Just by the way,
Yeah, I think so too. I think this is could be the start of let's see if they can match what Spain did all those like 10, 12 years ago, which is going to be Euros, World Cup Euros. Let's see.
they look scary. They look
They
scary going ahead.
they do. And let us know what you guys think in the comments below. It went Rome. It didn't come home. So apologies to England fans. Be kind to Sancho, Rashford, and Saka. They're very, very young. And congratulations to Italy. This has been your tournament. You guys have been brilliant. See you guys next time. It's been a great Euros.